Are you tired of not feeling like you're that bitch? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the podcast, That Bitch Energy, where we're all about tuning in to your highest self and growing presence, awareness, and consciousness while keeping it all fun, relatable, and grounded. Let's get into this next episode and embody that bitch energy from within. Ain't nobody seen a bitch like me. I'ma come up on ya. Ain't nobody. Welcome back to another episode of That Bitch Energy, the podcast. Okay, y'all, today's guest is the definition of stepping into your spicy queen era. I'm so excited to introduce the one and only Shilpa, a powerhouse love coach who is changing the game for women everywhere. Her mission? To take women from heartbroken to loving themselves fully. Shilpa is living proof that you don't have to be fully over your past to be open to love again. You just have to be ready to choose yourself. Fun fact, me and Shilpa met at a retreat, and it was such a beautiful moment where we just locked eyes because that was the practice. And we knew we instantly needed to be friends. So I am so excited to introduce you guys to Shilpa. Welcome, Shilpa, to That Bitch Energy, the podcast. Oh, Shilpa, thank you for coming on to That Bitch Energy, the podcast. I am so excited you're here. I feel grounded around you, so thank you.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be here. I know we've been talking about this for a little bit, and I'm like, yes, we're finally making it happen. So thank you for having me on. I love your energy. I enjoy you. And we were just talking about how we met, and I just remember looking at you and being like, wow, she's just so beautiful and she dances so well. Who is she? I need to be her friend. And I'm like, oh, wow, we've actually stayed connected. So it's really awesome. Because that was a year ago?
So what, was that in May or June?
Oh, yeah. Oh, so
Do you know
almost a
what
year.
month it
Almost
was?
a year. Yeah.
Maybe it was May or June. So yeah, almost a year. That's incredible and amazing that we're connected still, and it's been that long. And that moment was I've never experienced that before, so it was magical. I think it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like truly meant to be.
And that, I think that goes to, for anyone who's listening, like really act on that intuition. I just had like the weirdest, randomest thought. And I was like, I know this is weird, but I don't know. I feel like we got to be friends. And I just went for it.
Oh, yes. The intuition. She, he, they, whatever. No sex, if you will. The intuition is so, it's so magical, and the guidance it brings can really set us up for success.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I have to ask you.
Yes.
I love to start with this.
Yes.
When do you feel most in tune with your that bitch energy? I'd love to know.
Okay.
Whatever that means to you.
I think a few things come into like the factor into this. Honestly, it really doesn't matter what you look like, but I have noticed that I do tune into a certain energy when I do have my hair and makeup done and I'm dressed to a standard that I really just like feel alive in. That makes me feel great. And mind you, most of the time I am not dressed like this. So I can still feel in my that bitch energy without all of this, but it just kind of helps me amp it up a little bit. But if anything, the truth of it is we just, you and I just like, hey, let's put on a song and dance before we get into this. It's actually truly being in my body. So being very present and not worrying about what's going to happen or might not happen, you sent me questions for this podcast. I didn't read it. I didn't read them because I'm like, oh, I want to be very present with you. So whatever comes out naturally is I trust myself to walk through that. Right. So, and I love to teach. So I love coaching so much because I love to teach. I love to walk my clients through their own journey and process of getting in tune with their intuition and what their body's trying to tell them. So yeah, I just freaking come alive when I'm doing the things that I love and I'm truly in my body, truly present, not worrying about what someone might think of me, but more so in tune with what's happening inside of me and what wants to come out of me, what wants to be expressed through me. So that's when I'm in that
Mm.
fucking that bitch energy.
Go off, go off. I love it. Yes, I would agree with you there. Being in tune with the body,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my magic
Mm,
potion. That's what really can bring me into that space of feeling my most confident, truest, highest, that bitch energy self.
yes.
So I can relate with you so much on that.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that. I want to ask you, just from that answer, how would you guide or help someone who's never
Mm.
been in tune with tuning into their body or tapping into what their body is telling them or feeling? What's like the top thing you would, like, if you could pick one thing, what would you tell them to tap into that?
Such a great question, because all of my clients, because I used to be this myself, all of my clients, even though which is really interesting. Growing up, I have a long answer for everything, so I'm just I'm just sharing with you now.
Go off, go
Yeah,
off.
yeah. So when I was younger, I always had like I knew how to tap into my erotic sexual womb energy. Like that was just very natural for me. It could have been because I was molested as a child, so it was really easy for me to kind of access that. Um, but I didn't know how to, like, I was using it for the wrong, quote unquote, wrong reasons, meaning I was using it
Mm,
for validation, using it to be, to seek approval, things like that. Whereas now it's actually a strong gift of ours. All women, we have, even if, whether you have a womb or not, whether it's there or not, you actually have the power, the ability to access this power. But I'm a love coach, so I see the stiffness in a lot of my clients because they are disconnected, deeply disconnected from their bodies. And that's because culture, society, family, we're all like, when we're disconnected from our bodies, we're disconnected from our power, and that serves the greater good of people who want to make a ton of money off of us feeling insecure and being stuck up on our heads, wondering what's wrong with us, right?
mm.
So yeah, there's a bigger story there, but like I said, I have long answers. But if I were to have someone start the journey of tapping and tuning into their bodies, which I do this in my Spicy Queen Academy program, because that's like the foundational work, is um, so one thing you can do is a body scan. So literally just closing our eyes, and this actually, a lot of women have a lot of resistance to this kind of work because it is a slowing down. It is getting out of your head and into your body. And so being in your head is actually can feel very safe because
Mm.
you don't have to feel anything, right? But when you start to drop into your body, what ends up happening is a lot of the uncomfortable sensations that you've been running from probably your entire life will first pop up. That's what actually will pop up first. But so then everything inside of you is going to be like, let's run the hell away. I don't want to do this anymore. But what you start to recognize is if you allow yourself to move through the sensations, you'll actually move through it pretty quickly and get on the other side of it and like, oh, that wasn't so bad. But anyway, first thing is a really super simple is a body scan. So closing your eyes, taking a couple of deep, slow breaths in and out. So I would say like 3 to 4. And then just going from the top of your head, asking, like just tuning in, seeing if you feel anything, any sort of sensations, tingling, tightness, heaviness, or even pleasurable, something pleasurable, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then just kind of going from the head, your face, your jaw, your neck, all the way down to your toes. and just taking a couple of minutes to do that. And then it'll probably take you some time to start actually sensing something, but this takes practice. It is a practice. You have to make time to do this. You're not just going to do it once and be like, oh, I felt everything and blah, blah, blah. No, if you've been blocked for a long time, it's going to be really uncomfortable and difficult, or maybe challenging for you to actually feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great starting point.
Mm.
Another tool, which is actually maybe even better, if you've never really been programmed to like do the somatic work, is standing up and lifting one of your feet, and noticing and closing your eyes during this, noticing how your body is shifting and trying to to stand up straight. And that's a little bit easier because you notice there's a huge shift when you pick up one of your feet. Your body has to actually do a lot of things in order to stand up straight still. So that actually might be a better activity to kind of start with, so you can really feel your way through and start to sense what is happening within your body.
Wow,
Yeah,
I've never heard of that one, and I'm gonna try that for sure.
yeah, yeah.
I think this is good advice, great advice for anyone, even if you've tapped into your body before, but maybe you haven't. Um, Literally just closing your eyes, doing the standing one, doing the breathing, tapping into your body and checking in. What feels tight? What's tingly? I love that you said that. I notice my first time doing those things was in a yoga class.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been so afraid of taking a class for so long. And it's like my subconscious knew, like, oh, the moment you take a yoga class, your life's gonna change, bitch.
Yep,
Like,
yep, yep.
excuse me, but your life is gonna freaking change. And it's like the intuition, the subconscious was scared to change. So going to that first class was scary. So even just starting with breathing, like in the comfort of your car, home, shower, bath, whatever it may be, I think that's a great, like, you can do that anywhere.
Yeah,
You can
absolutely.
do that anywhere.
Mhm.
Um, Tell me about your spicy queen. What was it called again? You
Yeah,
said?
Spicy Queen Academy.
Oh,
I
that's so
know. That's
cool.
like yeah. So I often talk about, so a lot of women that come to me are coming to me to either heal from our break, but their ultimate goal is to get into a relationship again, a healthy one that
Yeah.
lasts. So when they come to me, they're either getting out of a relationship, situationships, or they have been single for some time and want love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before you can get out into the dating world, there's a phase, there's like a level of work, foundational work that you need to be able to do for you to just have more success out in the dating world, and so you don't repeat the patterns of your past. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the space. There's a lot of somatics in there. There's
Mm-hmm.
understanding your patterns and then actually learning how to break them. There's the work of being able to trust yourself, which is connection back to your intuition, connection back to your body. So that's the really strong foundational work that needs to be, like, women across the board, people across the board need to be able to have these skills before they go out into dating world again, because otherwise they're going to end up choosing really unhealthy partners still. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's my space, right? It's a 3-month program. I love it with all of my heart. And it's really cool to see the women who are in there who are like, hey, I've done work on myself before, like I've been to therapy before, but I've never done this level of work. It's just so deep. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the point. What, I talk about my methodology, rapid relationship transformation. Why it's so rapid is because it's not just talk therapy. I don't believe solely in talk. You can't talk your way out of things, and you can't solely have a mindset shift in order to create the long-lasting change that you want, especially when it comes to intimate relationships. It has to be a mind, body, soul situation. So that's
Mm-hmm.
the level of work we're doing in there.
Wow, this course sounds like a magic, like, community.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful to have created it, because this is something I needed after I went through a divorce myself. I wish I would have done, if I wish there was something like that out there. There just wasn't.
Yeah.
And I would have been where I am right now in my life, I would have been here sooner if I had something like that. So that's
Mm.
essentially what I'm teaching. I'm to like, it doesn't have to take you 8+ years to get here. You can do this a lot faster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me to the question about I saw your post about you getting married just 20 months after ending a 10-year relationship.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really huge.
Yeah.
That's not just like, it's just huge. Those numbers are huge. That's
Yeah.
really fast. That's magical. That
Mhm.
is so inspiring and powerful. And can you walk us through? I guess maybe that's what your course is about, but maybe a quickie what you went through to
Yeah.
get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so funny because I hear you say it, and I'm like, for me, it's like, wow, I'm impressed by that. But then I'm
Mhm.
sure like other people read that and they're like, what a lunatic. She did not take any time to heal, And I'm like, well, I'm a really like I evolve really quickly. That's just kind of the kind of person I am, meaning I take big leaps, I take big action. And if
Yeah.
I don't know how to do something, I go out and seek the help from people who have done what I've wanted to do. And then I take the information, I make it my own, and I just evolve, I manifest really quickly. So
Mm.
yeah, so when it came to my divorce, so yeah, we were together for 10 years. I knew for a long time it wasn't right for me, but I was just so scared. Not that he
Mm.
was a bad person, not that any of that. I just knew it was the right fit, but I didn't know how to break the rules. I was so afraid of losing everyone in my life, the love and respect of everybody, which I did. So the thing that I was most afraid of actually ended up happening, and it was the greatest gift of my life to actually receive that, because I needed to hit rock bottom. I needed to hit rock bottom and to be able to lose everyone that I thought I needed or had to rely on, to recognize, oh, actually, I can learn how to love myself without needing them to love me, right? And
Mm.
so that was a really big gift for me in that situation. I'm hoping I don't hope that on anybody, but it's just the way that it had to happen for me, so I could actually guide other women through their own journeys like
Mm.
this. So then I started to do work on myself. I was dedicated. Initially, I was like, nope, never want to get married again because of my first experience with it. I was like, it's just a way like where you get controlled and you lose yourself and you don't get to actually be fully you. And the message that I received was, no one will love you ever for who
Mm.
you are. You're too much. And I was like the type of woman that I loved to travel. I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. I was a creative. Like I am a creative. Like I love business. I love to serve people. I didn't know the 9 to 5 thing, what life was not for me. And this was completely against everything I grew up learning. And
Mm.
also my ex, right? Like he valued something very different. And so for me, it was really embracing these parts of myself that I was ashamed of, or I felt like I had to hide away because people didn't understand it, or I was breaking the rules. It was just out of the box.
Mm.
And I started to really own those parts of myself. And I dated just to kill time at that point because I was like, not getting married. Let's just have fun. So I had a shit ton of dating experience from when I left my ex to the time I actually met my husband, my now husband. And like I say, everything is so purposeful because now I use all of that experience to help my clients. And
Mm.
so I went through this like whirlwind of freaking dating experiences of first not wanting to date and then realizing pretty soon, like I said, I evolved really quickly. So I realizing pretty quickly, oh, this is not as fulfilling as I thought it was. I recognize, I guess I do want a relationship.
Mm.
Here comes my now husband, and he's 8 years younger than me. So I'm at a bar. I was actually supposed to meet someone else there that night, and he canceled. And usually, I would be like, I'm gonna sit in my apartment, eat, stuff my face, and not go out. Like I'm gonna hide because I was devastated. And my roommate's like, no, I want to go out. Let's go out. Let's go to this thing. So I was like, okay, cool, fine. Went. My husband literally walks into this bar and I'm like, oh my God, who is that? And then he eventually comes up to me And he's like, "Hi, how are you?" And I'm like, "Okay." And so we just started talking. He tells me his age, and then he also tells me that he's moving to South Korea in 2 weeks. Yeah, so I was like, "Okay, you're hot and you're young. Let's just have fun for 2 weeks while you're here."
Mm.
And I ended up going out of town the next day, but we exchanged numbers. And while I was out of town, we actually ended up having really good conversation through text. And I was shocked because I was meeting in LA. Eventually the conversation turned to sex and physical
Mm.
stuff that I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I'm not into that right now. But so it was very different. And I was coming back that Monday and he's like, hey, do you want me to pick you up from the airport? And I was like, in LA, no one offers to pick you up from the airport because the traffic sucks. So I had not had that happen. It was like, okay, that's different, but I said no. But anyway,
Oh.
so we went on our first date. I had zero intention of anything happening besides we're going to hook up because that's all I said. Like he's 8 years younger. There's no future here. I'm not doing long distance because my distance on my dating apps would be 5 miles because traffic sucks in LA. So that's
Yep.
how much I did not want to do long distance. And we just ended up hitting it off. We connected so well. And it also happened because I truly believe, because I didn't give a shit what he thought about me. I showed up as myself because I didn't see a future. So I shared a lot of things that I normally wouldn't have shared on a first date, and
Mm.
which allowed him to show up being more authentic as well. And we connected really quickly. He kept saying, hey, can I come meet you? Can I come see you? I was like, okay, fine, I guess. And then over the 2 weeks, we ended up connecting and I missed him like crazy when he left. I was devastated and I was like, oh my God, this is weird. But we ended up talking every single day after he left. And then we're like, clearly this is not just friendship. There's something deeper here. Because before he left, we did have the conversation where he's like, hey, I know he wanted the possibility of a relationship. I was like, I just can't do long distance. I don't see that working.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he left, we were still talking every single day. And I was like, okay, I think this is worth trying something we both haven't tried before. And it was the greatest gift. It was the hardest thing. It was one of the hardest things that we've ever done.
Mm.
But it was challenge. Long distance is not easy, especially when it's across continents. But we made
Yeah.
it work and we got married 10 months after we met. And I love that man more than I've ever loved him before. We've been through a lot. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want anyone to think like, oh, this is just so magical. Yeah, sure. I do believe in magic. It is magical, but that magic takes work and intention and energy pouring into it. So yeah, it's been such a beautiful journey, and it is, I take a lot of pride in the relationship that I have because I pour a lot into it. We both do. But yeah, it takes work.
So how long was he across? He was in South Korea, or
Yeah. He was in
how
South
long was
Korea.
he there?
He was there for a year. So we got married while he was away. Yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Did you go there to get married?
So he came back on one of his like breaks, and we got married in Big Sur, California. We eloped. Yeah.
Gorgeous!
Yeah.
How cool!
Yeah.
I love this story. I didn't know
Yeah.
any of that. I just
Yeah.
knew the 20 months after a 10-year relationship.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You were confident in yourself. It sounds like, and it sounds like that was very noticed on his end. And he's like,
Yes.
this woman who's like, I don't need you,
Yeah.
like you're just you're adding to like some fun and some, it's like it's fun, it's flirty,
Yeah.
but I don't need you to survive. And I feel like that was translated to him. And even if you didn't say those things, your body language, your
Yes.
response, like, so I could see that being like, ooh, like, who's
Who is
this? I want to
this?
know more.
Yeah, because he was used to women chasing him. And this actually was the first time, like things just started to click for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it was a moment. I was not trying to manipulate him, anything. Actually, it was for me, everything that I had been experienced or and learned up until that point, everything just started to click. And I'm like, well, and this was the healthiest I've ever communicated in a relationship. It was the healthiest I was with myself in a relationship. And there was a point before we had made it official. I said, hey, I've realized clearly this is not a relationship. This is not merely a friendship. And I've realized that I do want a long-term relationship leading to marriage and a family. I didn't know that about myself before. I also understand that you're really young. You're 8 years younger than me. And I want you to live out your 20s the way you want to live out your 20s. And I care for you and I would like to see a future with you. If you're not on the same page with that, that's okay. I'm willing to let you go, but we're not going to pretend that we're just friends. So, and he was like, fuck yes, I'm on board. I was like, let's do this. I was like, okay.
You were to the point. You were like,
Yeah.
this is how it is.
Yeah.
And he appreciated that. It's very clear.
Yeah, I was unattached to whether he was going to say yes or not, whether he wanted to move forward or not. I stated my desire. I stated my true feelings. I was very vulnerable, but also not, people think being vulnerable is being weak or powerless. In that moment, I said, like, I knew to myself, it would hurt and it would suck if he chose to walk away. But I was willing to be like, that's okay. I know what I want now and I deserve to have that.
Yeah.
So when a
Rather
man,
than
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was like, when a man can feel that, like, that's energetic. Like, a man can feel that and be like, oh my God. So when he is ready for that responsibility, because there's something does also have to click in a man for him to be like, oh, I'm ready to take on that level of responsibility, and he will rise. But you need to also be in that energy. And the men who are immature, not quite ready for that yet, they'll be like, okay, cool, I can't do this. They'll walk away. And you want that. You want that to happen. You want the wrong ones to walk away.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was going to say is like, if you even compromise, well, not that relationships don't require compromise, but that's later, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you state your needs in the beginning, like you did, rather than kind of being lax on, oh, well, okay, maybe I'll be okay with this part. Then later down the line, that grows and grows into something you really don't want. And
Yes.
I just love the way you were like, we're going to just do this right in the beginning. We're going to take control of the situation. And also, you're setting yourself up for success in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so important when it comes to relationships. And I noticed that in mine too.
Mm-hmm.
But my story is, and for a whole nother time.
And I was like, I want to hear that story.
I'm like, that's a long one. But yeah, I just think it's great to kind of bring up your needs and wants from the start. And obviously, if you don't, and you're in a relationship and you really, really enjoy this person and you haven't expressed your needs, I almost feel like you can still
Yes.
bring it to the table. It's not too late. It's
Absolutely.
not like, oh, it has to be now or never in the beginning or it's done. It's like, well, you can talk through it even if you've been together for however long. It's never too late, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think if both people are on board to do the work to create that depth and that intimacy and connection, 100% you can change things around.
I love that. I have noticed a lot of women in general or people in general say this. Like, you need to be fully healed before you get into another relationship. What do you say to that?
That's fucking bullshit.
I love it.
Nearly fucking impossible and bullshit. It's what women tell themselves in order to not get back out into the dating world and put their hearts on the line again.
Absolutely.
Because that feels safer, right? So it is complete bullshit. And I tell my clients, I was like, if you're coming to me, I will nudge you and push you out the door to be like, it's time to start dating now, right? So you come into Spice Queen Academy, you start doing the work, and I'm like, hey, I'm feeling it's time for you to now put this work into practice, because this is where you do the real work, right? You can sit in your room and do all the shit on your own, forever, but that means nothing if you don't go out into the world and take some brave action, because that's where you put in the real work, right? That's where the magic happens. And I will not lie to you, allowing yourself to open up to love again is brave. It takes bravery, it takes courage. Absolutely. And that's why it can feel so scary, and people will block themselves for years upon years, and that's what breaks my heart, because I've had clients come to me, very similar situations, kind of tell themselves, okay, either I don't want the relationship, or I'm not fully healed, I'm going to take more time to do this or that, whatever it is, come to me nearly 40 years old and say, hey, I've been single for like 10 plus years. And I'm like, what? Like, why did you not allow, and I get it, because there's just a lot of fear around it. And you really do have to work with your body, mind, soul to be able to push yourself out there. And it helps to have someone help you through that journey, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, and why I was saying it breaks my heart is because some of these women want to be moms, and at the end of the day, it is more challenging when we are older. So I want to change the messaging around this, so women allow themselves to have what they want a lot sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, beautifully said. There were so many amazing moments in there that I'm like, I want to share this with everyone. Like, that you need this. Oh man. And isn't life a journey of constant healing?
Yes, constant. That's the other thing. Constant healing. Like, the thing is, my husband and I have been together for 7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
There's new things we're constantly learning about each other, new ways we need to heal, like through our conflict, new ways they're like, oh shit, I didn't realize that was still happening within me, right? And it's like, oh, but I've spent so many years trying to heal this. It's like, yeah, there's always constant layers of it. The thing is, and you start from the surface, you get deeper, you get deeper, you get deeper, and you just keep going, especially if they're lifelong wounds that have been there since childhood. Hey, it takes time, and allowing ourselves to accept that, like, it's a part of the journey of being human, is you're ever evolving, and it's going to be a constant focus and intention on a relationship with yourself, right? And that's healing. That's healing.
Yes. And always evolving, changing, growing, learning journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's beautifully said. You said that. Couldn't have said it better. I mean, just gorgeous. I love what you said.
Thank you. I just have to say, by the way, I really, really love your voice. I love your voice so much.
Just like, thank you. Thank you. I hear it every day, so I don't really like think about it, but that makes me feel special. And
you are special.
Cool. So this conversation I was just thinking in my heart, I was like, goddess consciousness is like just swirling around us, like us hugs and guiding us to say what feels right and just like letting it flow. So I feel that with you. And I felt that with you when we locked eyes at the
yes, we locked eyes. Yeah, we literally did.
Guys, if this retreat, the person on the stage, Sahara, who's amazing, was like, find a stranger, lock eyes with them, and continue dancing, because it was like a slow, seductive song.
Yeah, it was. We're like, okay.
And we're just like, okay, girl, hey. And I love getting out of our comfort zones, because I had never done that before, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Getting out of your comfort zone and going to a retreat, even if it's by yourself, going dancing it can be wherever it is that you can find somewhere to dance, even if it's only the club or the bar. Like, for me, I'm sober, so I'm looking for sober, ecstatic dances.
Me too. I don't really drink anymore either. I'm not necessarily sober, but I just don't drink anymore.
Yeah. It just, sometimes it's not the time for alcohol in our lives, and I think that's great.
Exactly.
Get out there, get out of your comfort zone. So you help women go from heartbroken to loving themselves. Super powerful.
Yeah.
What's the biggest misconception about self-love that keeps people stuck? Because I feel like I see a lot of stuff online, social media, of like self-love is the bath bombs and going to get a facial or whatever. I mean, I'm just kind of throwing out
Yeah,
random stuff.
absolutely.
Um, so what are some misconceptions that keep people stuck in general, you
Yeah,
think?
that's actually what I was gonna bring up is people think self-love is, uh, like you said, treating yourself to manicures and taking the solo trip, which solo trips can be very, very powerful,
Mm,
100%. I love them to death. But that's not the only thing that like, it's not gonna solve all your problems, right? Sometimes we use things to just distract ourselves. So,
mhm,
learning how to love yourself is really actually a genuine, deep, intimate connection with yourself. So, meaning with your body, because your body is constantly talking to you. Your body's constantly sending you messages about what feels right, what feels wrong. Hey, and then you need to have the ability to be able to process that sensation
mhm,
and to be able to do something with it, how to make sense of it, and to see, hey, is there an action that needs to be taken based off of this? So and this is why so many people get into relationships and say, I don't feel seen, heard, whatever, because if you're still functioning from your programming of people pleasing, of quieting your voice, saying yes when you mean no, and saying no when you mean yes, and just playing small, then
mhm,
you'll never fully be authentic in any relationship. But what I've recognized is a common pattern or a thread throughout all of my clients, actually men or women, it's that sometimes they're like, oh, actually, after our work together, I'm realizing I don't think I truly know what I want or need or who I am. And I'm just like,
mm,
you know why that is? It's because you're disconnected from your body. And then you also don't know how to process the information that you are getting from your body. And that
mm,
it's a big key piece. So yes, spoil yourself the way that you want to spoil yourself, but that is not self-love. And listening to podcasts, reading books, love that stuff too. I love fucking podcasts, love them. Clearly I'm on one right now. I was like, I love being able to get that information, but there's a deep experience journey that you can go on to go within yourself, right? To go
mhm,
deeper within yourself. And that's like self-love. So when I'm talking about self-love, I literally can sit on my couch and go within my body and just feel this like deep connection and be like, oh my God, I love you, girl. Like I love you so much. And then I start to feel chills around my body, like all
mhm,
over. And I'm like, that's the fucking self-love I'm talking about. You're
mm,
fully present with yourself. You're accepting of where you are at the moment. Whatever is going on within your body, whatever is going on in your life, you're fully accepting what's happening. And then
mhm,
there's a trust there. You trust yourself to be able to move through and move towards in the direction that you want to go. And there's truth. You're being honest with yourself and you're being honest with others in that moment too. So there's this like, and you trust yourself to protect yourself through anything, that you can handle whatever's coming your way. So to me, that's self-love. That's a deeply intimate relationship with yourself, not the other bullshit that we market. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that the advertisement of that self-love is coming from people that are selling you things,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
and then it keeps getting repeated and repeated, and we all just believe it at one point,
Yeah,
and we've
yeah, I
never
did too, yep.
questioned. Me too. I sometimes I still, like, catch myself like, "Oh, but this isn't the only thing." Sometimes it's nothing outside of us that is the
Yes.
self-love. Or,
Usually
oh,
that's the case.
usually it is, yeah.
Yes, it usually is the case, exactly.
Like the things like travel, like you were saying, can help kind of remind you, or like, okay,
Mhm,
now I have to sit with myself because 'cause I'm
mm,
here by myself.
mhm.
So things can kind of like, I guess, start the engine,
Yeah.
but you put in the gas.
Yes,
Like,
yeah,
you have to put the gas in. So I hope that reference made sense, but that's what came to my mind, and
yeah.
I feel like, it's not sustainable to constantly look outside of ourselves.
Yeah, you will end up, for the longest time, actually, I'm gonna share this. Yeah, for the longest time, I was looking outside of myself. So this is from experience.
Yeah.
I was looking for outside of myself to be like, hey, solve the problem, fix me, but I didn't realize I was running from everything. So I actually got into,
Mm.
after my divorce, I got into a lot of debt because I was spending so much on my clothes, on travel, on what I looked like, because I thought that was taking care of myself, but I was really
Mm-hmm.
running away from a lot of things that I needed to face. So I'm very grateful I had a best friend that helped me pay off that debt, and I just had to pay her off later. But
Wow.
don't get yourself into that situation if you don't have to. And you recognize it's never fulfilling. There's always more that you can purchase. There's always more you can buy. So it's never actually fulfilling in the way that you
Mm-hmm.
think that it is, but it's not. It's just you're running away from something. It's distractions, whatever it is, and you end up kind of putting yourself more in a hole than
Mm-hmm.
you thought you would.
It's like dysregulation,
Yes.
searching for regulation,
Yes.
but it's just furthering more dysregulation because then you're like not accepting of you as you.
Yeah.
I totally, oh my gosh, I can relate so well to that. There was a point in my life, like every moment that I wasn't doing something, I was shopping
Yeah.
online,
Yeah.
going to the store, going to even
Yep.
just like for food, like buying unnecessary things that I was like, oh,
Yes.
that's healthy. I need that. That's beautiful. I need that. I had so much makeup at one point. I had to get rid of half of it because
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't even use this.
Mhm.
Mind you, I love makeup. I'm not saying don't go buy it. I'm saying
Oh, no, there's
I overindulged.
yes. Yeah, yeah. I was, oh God, everything you just said, I relate to,
Yeah.
related to for sure. 100%. And even when
Yeah.
it comes to, and this is something I want to share too, even when it comes to seeking support or help,
Hmm.
because I did the same too. I would look for answers outside of myself, like someone else must know something I don't, or like, which people do. I've learned a lot through this experience, but if I'm looking to them to fix everything for me, I love you, but that's not going to be the case. It's a you job. You're going to have to show up and do the work, and then that's how you get the transformation. So even with my
Mm.
stuff, like I charge accordingly, or I charge the prices that I do because I want women to come in there and do the work. Right? It's an energy exchange. I want you to come in and actually take this work seriously, and then
Hmm.
pour into yourself, because I'm not going to fix you. You're going to fix yourself. Or like, well, I actually don't even think anyone's broken, so it's not fixing. It's more
Right.
so just you're cultivating that deeper connection and relationship with yourself, and through that, you'll start to recognize you have all the fucking answers for yourself, for your life. You have the answers. Sure, there's education I can teach you. Absolutely. Sure, there's tools that I can teach you. Absolutely. And that stuff is important because I've learned things from other people where I didn't know these things myself. Like I am
Hmm.
who I am today because I went out seeking the teachers. And then from there, I was like, oh, I've got the answers for my own life though. When it comes
Hmm.
to my relationships, my work life, my whatever I want to manifest and call in, like we have the power to do that. And that is within us. So, yeah, it's not about fixing yourself. You're not broken. You're not broken. And a lot of people make a lot of money off of you, making you think you are broken.
Mm.
Yeah.
Receiving.
Yeah.
And I know if anyone is listening, and the ones that are listening will receive that because that felt very relatable. And we all have a moment where we felt broken, and we all have a moment where we needed fixing. And I love that you said we're not really broken. It's like we forget our power, we forget
Yes.
our value, we
Yes.
forget our divinity, and sometimes we just need
100%.
teachers, like you said. Like you
100%.
were searching for the teachers in the answers. And sometimes they just show up when you're not even looking, and it's like that seed was planted. So I
Mhm.
think it was beautifully said, and I'm receiving everything you just said, and I'm allowing it in because I'm constantly open to learn. So thank you
Yeah,
for that.
absolutely. Yeah. And as you were talking, I thought about my daughter, how you said we forget. Yeah, we're
Mm.
also trained to forget. We're programmed to forget how magical we are. I was listening to I think her social media is like Midlife Muse or something. Anyway, she was talking. I think she was recalling a memory of her child, but this has been a theme for me all this week too. Myself is when my daughter is born, And even now, she's 2.5. She's still very much, she looks in the mirror like, oh, like I look so cute. I'm a princess. I'm this. She doesn't
Oh.
look in the mirror and think of all the flaws that she has, or all the, like
Mhm.
what's wrong with her. She doesn't sit there and spend time wondering, oh my God, so-and-so might think this, or comparing herself to this other person, or what's wrong with her. What will so-and-so say about her? She's just herself. She's very, and that's the confidence piece. It's not even, she's born that way. Like, that's just it. We're all born that way. But what happens is, we're raised in families, maybe they haven't processed their own trauma, and they pass down their trauma to us, their insecurities, their fears, and we take that on, and that becomes
Mhm.
ours. Or someone tells us, hey, you're being too loud, you're too much, don't dress like that, don't wear this, don't show up this way, you've got to get this grade in school, or you're worthless, whatever it is, right? We've been told. We take that on, and then we hide ourselves. We start to hide the magical parts of ourselves. Then we start comparing. We start
Mm.
telling ourselves we're not good enough, we're not worthy. But these are not messages that we're born with.
Mhm.
Absolutely not. In my belief is, we're all worthy. And the proof is that we fucking exist today. I mean, you know that we are literally chosen to be here. You've experienced death recently. And it is such a gift. And that alone is proof that our
Mhm.
existence today, that we are able to have this conversation, you're able to sit and listen to this podcast, that you woke up this morning, is fucking literal proof that you are chosen and you are fucking worthy. Do not
Mhm.
allow your shit in your head, other people's shit, to get in the way of you believing that and you owning it.
Wow.
Shit, I felt that, girl. I felt that.
I feel it. I'm receiving it. She said it. She said it, everybody.
And this is
And
what
she
I
meant
mean.
it.
I told
Yes.
you. I was like, I just want to be present with you. Ask me all the questions. I know magic will come.
I love that. And I love to not read questions too,
Yeah.
because if I'm overthinking them, I'm like, uh, um,
Yeah.
uh, like
Yeah.
that. That's how I'll
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah, exactly. Like trying to be
Wow.
perfect. And I'm like, I'm not fucking perfect. I
No,
speak
and
to
that's not the
sometimes.
goal.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just be present, see what wants to be expressed through us.
When you were talking about the programming,
Yeah.
your daughter and like we were, not just your daughter, but like all of us have been programmed to believe, or we hear things. It might not even be at home, it could be at
Yeah.
school. Like
Yes.
one
Yes.
one person at school or a teacher is like, you can't do that, or you can't act like that, or you whatever, sit down, be quiet. That outfit someone makes fun of you for,
Yes.
and from then on you never wear anything near that again for the rest of your life. Or someone makes fun of someone else and you take that in as a message.
Yes.
um, I was thinking of your experience and your story of when you were talking about leaving your ex,
Mhm.
and how you were like, oh, the programming was the 9 to 5, and that was your ex's also programming, and that's what they valued. And it's like you knew for a long time that that wasn't right for you. You were like actively reprogramming your belief system. You're like, wait a minute, what do I actually want? And I think that's the start, right? Is like
Yes.
questioning, wait a minute.
Why do I do the
What?
things?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why do I even want this? Do
Yeah.
I even want this? Like
Yes.
step one,
Yes.
question.
Questioning yourself.
And
Absolutely.
that's okay.
Mhm.
And I feel like they often say if you question yourself, then it's not right or whatever. It's like, well, but we have to question these things.
Yeah.
It's not bad to question. It's
No.
good.
Yeah, no, it's
Mm.
it's important to take a pause and see, why am I doing what I'm doing?
Mhm.
Why do I have this belief? Is this my belief, or is this passed down to me? And if it was passed down to me, do I actually still believe it in this version of myself, as this
Yes.
version of myself? So um it really is important to sit and question yourself and why you do the things that you do. Absolutely. I'm all about that.
I love that. I do this constantly. I'm like, wait a minute. Why did I just get so offended by someone saying that? What's
Mhm.
going on with me?
Yeah, yes. And you know what's so funny? This reminds me. I remember, and I actually wrote this on one of Sahara's posts. I actually said, your videos used to trigger me, and I would feel like uncomfortable and cringe and like, what's wrong with her? And then I realized, oh, let's go within me. What is going on with me that I'm projecting this out towards her? And I sat there and I was like, okay, oh shit. It's all of the shame that I've
Mhm.
received around, or I've heard messages of, even if it wasn't towards me, but others, around moving your body a certain way, wearing certain clothes, and dancing a certain way for the public to see. And I was like, oh shit. And I literally wrote that on her post. And I was like, I'm sorry. It was my own shit. And it usually always fucking is. It's your own shit that you're projecting out onto someone else. If you've got a
Absolutely.
trigger, if you've got a trigger, it's important to look within yourself and get curious. What's actually popping up for me now? Am I
Mhm.
afraid of something? Why is this causing me discomfort? Does this remind me of something? Right? Things like that. Absolutely.
Yes. I love that you just named that and put that out there about your comment. And that's vulnerable and that's power. Like showing where, you did learn that, oh, I was actually being so harsh on myself around movement and
Mhm.
dance and sensuality or whatever it may be, or
Yes.
the way that
Yes.
she dressed and the way that she talked or her confidence even. I
Yes.
used
Absolutely.
to judge women with confidence. I was like, who the do they think they are? And then I was like, wait a minute. I'm telling myself, who the hell do I think I am? And why am I doing that? I
Yes.
don't feel worthy. I don't feel enough. I don't feel like I can. And I used to do that with music. So like I didn't sing until I was like an adult.
Yeah.
And I feel so like the time it was all meant to be and it was perfect the way it worked out. But I wish, I think about younger me all the time. Like I want to talk to her and tell her, and I do. I do talk to her and I love her.
Yeah.
Um, and I tell her, it's okay that you're scared and you are worthy enough to sing in front of I have to do this at shows all the time.
Yeah.
Before I go on, even like this episode, I'm like, you got this, girl. You
Yeah.
are enough. Even if you stumble over your words, even if you say some dumb crap,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what's so perfect about it. That's the
Yeah.
imperfectness is the perfect.
Yeah.
And you sing a wrong note and they think you're crap, you're the worst singer ever, cool.
Yeah.
Because they're not for you. They're not
Yeah.
supposed to love your work if they don't like that one mess up. Because I know I've seen my favorite singers and whoever artists mess up, and I still am like, you're amazing, get
Yeah.
it, girl, boy, whoever. Like it's not.
Yeah.
We're worthy in all of it, in the mistakes, in all of it. It's the ups and downs, the ugly, the beautiful. It's all divine. So,
And that's like literally right there is unconditional love. That
mm,
that right there. And that's exactly what we're all seeking. But we also do have to start with being able to offer it to ourselves first before we can offer it to someone else and before we could receive it. Because if we're not giving it to
yes,
ourselves, we will block it from somebody else.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just tapping into your body could be the first step to that.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
first, I love that you said that in the beginning because oh, that's what brought me here
Yeah.
to learning more about healing and embodiment and spirituality. And I love your take on spirituality and going from I think love is like the biggest teacher, like romantic
Yes.
partners or just love in general with family and friends.
Yes.
Isn't everything about relationships and love
100%. Our entire lives. Our entire lives. Absolutely.
from the beginning?
And yeah, so when women come to me thinking they're coming to find the man, but I'm like, girl, you're gonna find yourself and you're gonna repair all the relationships in your life. Like your life is going to change, not just your
Mm.
romantic life. Like your entire life is going to change. So yeah.
Powerful. I've had chills many times that you talk about your work,
Thank you.
which also I have to bring up.
Yes.
I saw one of your stories a while back. I don't know if this was like a month ago, but you had went to a wedding of your
Mm,
client, or I
yeah.
don't know if you call them client or like
Yeah.
friends. Okay,
Yeah.
I would love to hear about that,
Yeah.
and if you can share it, I know, like, there's confidentiality probably with certain things, but whatever you can share, I feel like that's a magical story, and I'd love to hear
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, it was such a gift for, like, to be able to go to her wedding. I was like, "Oh my god, what? This is insane." Because she lives in California, he's on the East Coast, and they're like, what are the odds that they're gonna actually
Yeah.
have their wedding in Dallas? And it was literally a couple of days after I was coming back from a month-long trip, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is insane. So cool that I get to actually witness this." But yeah, so she had come to me the year before that. I had been through a lot of situationships, relationships that almost one relationship that almost led to marriage, but things had fallen apart towards the end, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but she was heartbroken because she's like, I see all of my friends getting married, or they're already married, or starting to have kids, and I want that for myself. And I
Mm.
think there was a point in time where she didn't prioritize it as much. She's like, maybe I want marriage. I don't know. I don't think so. But and also things started to shift when she saw her sister get married. She's like, "Oh, I thought I would be the first one, right?" And that kind of just starts to put things into perspective for you. Kind of things just like feel uncomfortable, like, "Oh, I guess I do want marriage." And I didn't know how much I wanted that. And so she came to me. We started to process through what was blocking her in her past relationships, and maybe still blocking her in her views on love, views on men, herself, her relationship with herself. And it was kind of interesting actually, because every call we had, it was almost as if we were unlocking and releasing a new block. And
Mm.
then we both felt this. It was the craziest thing. I She said to me, I think he's coming soon. And I said, I think this is one of your final blocks before you have to before you actually attract him. We both said it, and within 2 weeks, he actually reached out to her on Instagram. So it was kind of crazy. And yeah, they had connected, and she's like, "Oh my god, I've never experienced anything like this before." And I'm like, "Yeah, because it has to do with you, your relationship with yourself first, and how are you showing up. It's so different. It's all about energy. What you
Mhm.
attract and pull in, and your reality, and the life circumstances you're in, has a lot to do with you. You're a co-creator of it. So it's trying to always reveal something to you, and you're always attracting through your energy." So
Mhm.
anyway, so yeah, they ended up having it's not their big official ceremony. This is more so the paperwork to get, officially married, but the big wedding will be in India later this year.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, so it was really cool to be able to witness it, and it was just honestly, once again, such a gift to see this, like, all of your work, how, like, but her work too, right? Like, for it
Yep.
to be like, oh my god, like, she's getting married, and she's really happy, so I'm really happy for her. Yeah.
Wow, and that's magical. I mean, getting to see, because we don't always see the things we help people with, right? They might
Yes.
go on in their life and we never know. But getting to see it, but that's truly, filling. It probably fills
Yeah.
your cup.
Yeah. It was a full circle moment, and it did, and it's nice to have those reminders sometimes, like you said, before you got on the podcast, you're like, "Oh, I'm worthy, I'm worthy." Sometimes I still have to talk to myself like that, even
Mhm.
despite like having my clients come to me and say, "This is amazing," or whatever. There's that deep rooted little girl in me who's always afraid, am I doing enough? Am I enough? Whatever it is. And then for me to be able to experience that, I was like, okay, I feel like God's trying to tell me, keep going. It's work,
Mm.
keep going. It's important that you
Yeah.
keep going. So yeah.
Yeah. Keep showing up for yourself.
Yeah. So I was very grateful.
Ah, that was just beautiful, and congrats to that couple for
Yeah.
finding each other and growing together and choosing each other, and relationships are incredible, and they're also very challenging,
Yes.
and I just congratulate all, like,
Yeah.
when you choose each other and you can stick it out, and even if it doesn't work out, like, choosing you, it's all part of the plan, it's all part of the
Mhm.
bigger journey, and it's just magical.
Absolutely.
I just I feel so, turnt. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay,
I love
okay, you got all the secrets for everyone, for me."
it.
I'm absorbing it in, I'm taking it in, I love it so much. I do have one final question.
Yes.
If you could give your younger self Your heartbroken younger self.
Mm.
One piece of advice, talking directly to her, what would that be?
Life gets to be so damn beautiful as long as you stop caring about what everyone else thinks about you and stop holding yourself back. Yeah. Because that's when my life started to get really beautiful. Like, the life I'm living right now is the life I've always dreamed of. Like, where I get to be myself, I get to have a relationship that I'm madly in love with my man and we have fun together still. Whereas I've seen a lot of relationships where they start to hate each other, or
Yeah.
they're bored in their marriages. And I get to be a mom and I enjoy being a mom, but I'm also doing motherhood my way, where I get to do the work that I get to do. And this is my life is made up, meaning I don't work a 9 to 5. And I was like, I didn't think that little girl version of me would have never thought any of this was possible. And I'm just like, girl, break all the fucking rules. Live life your own way. Stop caring about what other people think so much.
And you created that.
Yeah. Like, that's the coolest thing. It's like, what? I did this, and I used to be the girl who hated herself, who struggled with depression, who attempted suicide. Like, you can drastically change your life. Drastically change your life. That power is within you. Within all of us.
Wow. Powerful.
Yeah.
Drop the mic, everybody. Drop the mic. Well, quickly before, also, I know you have a retreat coming up. Do you have, I think by the time I upload this, it'll be past that.
Okay.
Do you have any other planned retreats, like that one coming up, and any more in the future that I could tell the listeners about?
Yeah, so we do have a retreat March 19th to the 24th. I'm really excited about it. It's in Costa Rica, and we're doing all this work that we're talking about, the mind, body, soul, embodiment practices. It's so important. And it's going to be in beautiful Costa Rica, in the jungle, but it's a luxury experience in the jungle, but we get nature to be able to connect back with nature. It's such a beautiful experience. I'm really excited for that. As of now, I don't have another retreat planned for this year, possibly next year. I love doing retreats so much with all of my heart. But if anyone does want to reach out and start working together, feel free to DM me. I'm so happy to have conversations with anyone who's like, hey, I want some support.
Absolutely. I saw that retreat and I saw it too late because I would love to be there. I see all your planning and it makes me excited for you. And I'm excited for everyone that's going to be there and the magic that's going to be happening and created and the healing that is going to go on in Costa Rica. I have yet to go there.
Yeah.
I know you were there. You were there last year. I remember following you on that journey. And you made me want to go in the first place. And so I'm going to get there. But I hope that retreat is just magical. And everybody hit up Shilpa. Where can we find you if they need to reach out?
Yeah, Instagram is the best place. I am on there. I love Instagram. Instagram, honestly, that's where I use it when I use the most.
And I'll put your handle and
Perfect.
I'll put your handle so people can easily click it and find you. And I'm so grateful we showed up together today.
Yes, this was so fun. I loved this conversation with all of my heart. It was so fun.
Same. I'm saying things.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening. Sending you all so much love.
Yes. Self-love.
Yes.
All right, love. Thank you guys for listening. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. And joining us on the magic that we created here on this episode. Be sure to follow and check out their work. Links to their socials will be in the show notes. If you loved this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs this energy today. Thank you for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.
Ain't nobody seen a bitch like me. I'ma come up on ya. Ain't nobody warned ya about a